All right, our final NFC game from the wild card, of course, the Rams hold on sweaty against the Panthers. Just have something on the Rams.
Well, they match up well with them.
Right.
They match up well.
Schematically, it feels like.
It does. Well, I like
coaching, knowing each other.
EJ is from the Rams.
Yeah,
EJ knows McVay. EJ was with Raheem and me down in Tampa Bay. So he understands how McVay's offense works a little bit. And then I think on top of that, the fact that the Rams have to worry about being overpowered by the running game of the Panthers. Right. The Rams are not real big on the defensive front. They're about fast and chaotic, and they want to F the play up and just cause chaos. Right. But within that, that's not always the type of defenses that stand up to, whoa, they got 2 big tackles. They got Robert Hunt at guard. Like, they got some maulers up there. And I think because of that, they had to overplay that to a degree. But the other thing the Rams got to figure out is they got to play a little more man defense. That was the thing that jumped out to me more than anything in the football game. As you went through the early parts of the game, and I was sitting there watching it with my dad on Saturday and doing that, going, look, Rams, here we are, 3rd and 4, they're playing zone, 6-yard completion. Here it is, 2nd and 5, playing zone, 6-yard completion. Just too much of that. So, some sloppiness by the Rams. We know there was the turnovers, right, and a few other mistakes along the way. Did not play their cleanest, best football, but at least when their backs were against the wall, they answered in a big way, and Stafford was clutching big moments.
64 defensive snaps for the Rams.
Right.
They only played man on 12 of them.
Right.
And 3 of those were just because it was cover 0.
So
they just brought the house.
Exactly
so really, like,
right.
9 true. That is
It's got to be
alarmingly
more than that.
low.
That's alarmingly low. You're not going to beat some of these really good quarterbacks and passing offenses. You're not going to beat the Chicago Bears if you sit there and play that much zone. You won't. Because, again, like we always talk about, Ben Johnson, the McVays, right? The Shanahans, they're going to have ways to go, okay, yeah, your zone's cool, but we'll figure out a way to kind of spread out one part of it and then have a guy sitting in the middle somewhere in a big hole, and we'll get big completions. But it was crazy in the fact that the Rams game, as I said, I think I said this to you earlier, the first half, they dominated the game. And like we said, if there were 70 plays in the first half, they won 65 of them. And we went in going, holy cow, the Rams they're peeing down their leg here. Puka Nakua's got balls bouncing off his face for walk-in touchdowns. There was a lot of moments there. You felt like they had a chance to really take over the football game, and they let Carolina hang around, and Carolina, of course, made it a football game and took advantage of their opportunities.
Stafford, of course, dealt with a finger injury during this game. The X-rays were negative, but it was clearly...
It clearly affected him.
It clearly affected... listen to the number per next-gen stats. So... he hit the Colby Parkinson throw, the 19-yarder game winner with under a minute left.
Right.
But on throws outside the numbers before that throw, he was 1 of 11.
Yeah, he was a little off on some of those throws. And then it's hard. He started the game out 9 for 9 for like 121. Right, he hit his hand like a throw or 2 later, and then you went, oh, damn, he's gone 3 for his last 16. He went through a spell like that where you're just like, wow. I thought the Rams got too cute at times. They should have ran the ball more. They had holes open in the run game all game long. I felt like when they got frustrated and the game got to 17-14, they kept going like, we're going to show you right here, and we're going to throw a big bomb down. And it's just like, no, just stay with your offense.
Right,
You're going to move the ball here. They got a little impatient, I think, in thinking they were going to go in there and show everybody that the first game was a fluke and we're going to totally control you that way, right? But some bad penalties, a few mistakes here and there, the interception, and then Bryce Young made a few nice plays, and the Rams did a horrible job of keeping him in the pocket and let him have rush lanes to where he made a few plays that way or found some ways to throw the football. And all of a sudden we're looking up in the fourth quarter going, oh, my gosh, the Rams could lose this football game. It was really incredible.
Do you feel better after this game about him being the future in Carolina with Canales, the strides they made this year?
I feel better, right? I know before the year that they did not feel if he was the man going forward. I know that. I know that we don't really think we have our guy for the future, right? That was like still up for debate. He certainly should have made them feel better this year.
Right.
Am I sitting here going, oh, yeah, let's sign him up for a long-term deal and pay him big money? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is one where I definitely would want to see more. But he did do some good things this year. There's no doubt about that. And we'll see where it goes. But, Carolina, it's a team that's still young, and they got some talent on their football team. They probably need another big-time defensive lineman, pass rusher, right? Probably another two
more edge
difference
rusher.
makers on the defensive side and maybe one more on the offensive side, and you start to go, okay, they could be legit and a real pain in the butt in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, it feels weird to say, but it feels like a successful year for the Panthers.
I hear
it wasn't always like there was weeks where you're like, what the hell happened to them? But considering the hand Dave Canales was dealt, and some of the young talent they have on this team, Nick Scorton showed a day 2 pick on the edge. T-Mac was great this year. Bryce was better. The Ike Ekwonu patellar tendon.
That was brutal.
That was tough
now,
to watch.
You're going to go in the next year, and that's not going to be normal. That's one of the toughest injuries in the sport right now.
Offensive lineman.
Achilles or patella tendon are the two worst things you can happen to happen to you. So, that does stink for them. But I think they've laid the groundwork, to your point, to go, hey, we got something going here. Let's see if we can ride this wave, improve a little bit in the offseason, and see if we can't be a better football team next year. And the Rams, on the other hand, this is one of those where they won the game, but they're going to probably watch the film Sunday or today, and it's going to be one of those where they're going to be a little pissed off and go, man, we didn't do some things the way up to our standard. Right, that's definitely a thing. And one last thing too. I'm gonna say this because I heard this all. I'm hearing this all week because of the Drake May Matthew Stafford MVP conversation. Drake May has no help. Matthew Stafford apparently has superstars falling off trees, and I want to go. Really, who are these superstars we're talking about? Are we talking about Devontae Adams for 7 years ago? Or are we talking about Devontae Adams for now? They have Puka Nacua. They have Devontae Adams, who's a real good number 2. I would like the media and the TV public to stop acting like this is Tyreek Hill in his prime. Like, Devontae Adams, as you saw in the game, has no fifth gear. He can't go turn it on. He's a good route runner that fits their system. But for people to sit here and just go, oh, they have all this talent, and Drake May's got nothing, I want to go, okay, they have Puka. He's clearly the best receiver. Stephon Diggs or Devontae Adams, it's really, I'm going to take Stephon Diggs. I'm sorry. I am. The running backs for sorry, I just said the bad word. The running backs of the Patriots are pretty explosive too, and we know they have a lot of good other cast of characters. I'm just tired of that narrative, I'm saying.
Like that being the ultimate
divider. The ultimate divider. Yeah. That shouldn't be that way. And this is where we have to respect Matthew Stafford a little bit. One, okay, first off, they were stupid to go for it on 4th down on the 17-7. I thought that was stupid. Kick the field goal, keep the pressure on him. Also, he was stupid to try to throw a no-look pass right there, and he threw the ball into the ground, right? Just get the completion there. Don't be cute.
We don't need to highlight it.
But at the same time, this is one more thing I want to say about Matthew Stafford. If Joe Burrow put up Matthew Stafford numbers, everybody would be like, oh, my gosh, it's Joe Burrow. He's the MVP. It's not even close. Oh, my gosh, he's surgical. But for some reason with Matthew Stafford, in a year where any other year I've ever seen in the history of the sport where one quarterback throws for 15 more touchdowns than everybody else, and we're still making it up a debate, I feel like the New England Mafia online has kind of overtaken this conversation a little bit. And I don't agree with that. So that's where I just want to be like, come on, like Stafford's freaking awesome. And I don't know what it's going to take to give him some respect for what he does on a weekly basis. And that just, I had to get that off my chest.
I hate to say it like this, but honestly, he's just going to have to win the Super Bowl this year because everybody's waiting for him to lose.
It seems like it.
That's how
it seems like
when it started to turn.
He gets treated like he's never won a big game or never won a Super Bowl. And I want to go, you guys know he was down by 10 late in the
like
fourth
Sam
quarter.
Darnold gets treated, but it's Matthew Stafford.
With receivers banged up, no tight end or anything, and they came back and beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Like, you guys know that happened, but it's like, he could not get the respect he deserved. Between him and the fact that he had all those years in Detroit and Caleb Williams, because he paints his fingernails, nobody wants to give them credit for what they do, and that drives me crazy. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.